a lot of people are starting to use this form render skip logic external module. And it's very powerful, and it really is wonderful when you're talking about trying to hide or show instruments. And this was a situation where somebody has this project for, it's in the emergency medicine department, and they're doing they're looking at different ventilation options for people with advanced respiratory disease. And so they're collecting this data longitudinally over different time points and using these instruments, and they have two arms for what it's worth, and the arms are almost identical except for the different types of ventilation. But the point was, once somebody is no longer on the study, they didn't want all the options to enter data to be available downstream. This would help with data quality and ensuring people don't enter data by mistake, or be facing any kind of data options that are not valid. So the answer for this really was the form skip logic, which I will repeat again. There is a video online if somebody wants to look at it. Manuel showed last week the changes he made to the website for videos, which are, I'm really just, I think look great. But there is video on form skip logic. The thing about skip logic is it sounds like you're trying to configure your instruments to be hidden, but in fact you're configuring to have them shown, and they won't be shown unless you've indicated that they should be shown. So the demonstration was one that was just in a non-longitudinal project, but this is a little example of one that's using a longitudinal study. So originally, well, we needed some way to grab a field, and I'll show you the configuration in a second, but you need to kind of have a field that allows you to recognize whether you want to turn on or turn off subsequent forms. So at least for demonstration purposes, or for the ability to configure this easily, created an instrument just called patient status. So if I look at their design, patient status instrument is simply, are they still on the study? And with branching logic, if they are on yes, nothing happens. And if they are not on study, what was the reason? That way they can capture that. So they're running that, and then if I look at the external module, what I kind of wanted to point out that is not in the original video, first of all, it does allow for arms, so I wanted to be clear about that. If you look at this, all the events in both arms are available to you. I grabbed the variable, which is patient still on study, and that's going to drive whether or not you show subsequent instruments. So I took the 6 hour, and really what you want to show or hide after that is what's in the 24-hour event. So the branching logic is if yes in 6 for the patient status, if they are still on study, then show all the instruments in the 24-hour event. But it's important that you check this box that says restrict this rule to specific events. That way it will only affect the 24-hour. If you don't check that box, or if you say, well, I really want to show these instruments in all the subsequent events, that rule will override any others that you set up, and it will no longer give you the option of hiding anything downstream. Any other fields that you set up or any other scenarios that you set up to hide or show fields won't work. So it's important that you restrict it to just this event, and then you have to go down and work through each one of the events, hiding the subsequent instruments or showing the instruments. So this is yes. If yes, then show these in this other event. And I did that through all of them and all of the both arms, and went through and configured that. And then so if you're in the record, you can see that if patient's no longer on study, it no longer shows subsequent instruments for the event. So I love this. Again, if I just delete the event, come back in here, say no, save and exit the form, everything disappears. So a nice tool, and helps to ensure that you have good data quality in your data entry process. So form skip logic, a lot of people are using it. I just wanted to point out that it's very effective for not just longitudinal studies, but for different arms.